Here we go. I am live. All right. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It is Craig Harris. It is February 21st. We are in the 30-day launch window of Mass Effect, and I am the black man in the green chair today, drinking a pink lemonade. Go figure. Got the day off. It's going to hit you with a video here. Of course, I got a little Mass Effect news. The combat video came out. Looked fantastic. Go over some of the weapons that you're going to be able to see. Look at some Horizon Zero Dawn reviews because it's apparently scoring very high. It's got an 88 on Metacritic, and it seems to be pretty well. There's a lot of salt out there on the Xbox community, so so we're going to go ahead and talk about that a little bit. And also, I'm going to give a shout out here to Randall Thor. He's another YouTuber. I just subbed to his channel. And the reason I subbed to his channel is because he did a video yesterday asking some pretty good questions about why the Xbox community seems to just go nuts, go ape shit when a new game launches on the PlayStation and things like that. So I'm gonna get to that here, but let me start out with, and again, it's not a bash video. It's not a diss video on him. And he has a podcast, I think it's TXR, and he's got some cool guests on there, Tim Dog and all them. So shout out to all them guys. But Ran Outdoors asking a legitimate question, and I'm really gonna answer it. I'm gonna really try to answer it. So it's not a diss video, and I don't even do videos like this on YouTube. I don't try to go on to other YouTubers' platforms. It is what it is. Shout out to the one viewer that there's always one viewer that bounces in. So shout out to the one viewer. Appreciate you joining me. Let me start with Mass Effect here. Combat video, I think it hit on Thursday of last week. Maybe it was Friday morning. Some of the combat that you saw, the way that game was going to play, is a straight riff from the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. The way the game was moving and things like that. Some of the guns you're going to have, I think it's the M5 is going to make an appearance. The N7 rifle, and the N7 rifle, I think it's only available if you do the Citadel DLC, and you might be able to get another package. I don't know if it's called the Ground Assault package or something like that, but it's DLC. But I'm glad to see all the weapons going. Also, the sword that they showed, that looks a lot like the sword that Kyle Lang and Mass Effect 3 used. Kyle Lang is one of the characters from the comics. If you read the Mass Effect comic books, he was featured in that. It really looks like Cerberus is part of this mission on some level. The semi-automatic weapon that's going with you is a Cerberus weapon. Shout out to the 3 or 4 viewers that decided to pop in and say hi to me. There is to say, hey, what's going on? Oh, come on, Psycho Gamer. I'm not here to diss on nobody. If you want me to send you an invite, I can. If you still but hey, thanks for those tweets that you sent, those pics. We know you had a good time down at the All-Star game. So shout out to Psycho Gamer. He's been traveling. He was down in New Orleans. And hey, Psycho, what do you think about that trade that the Pelicans just made to get Boogie Cousins? You know, they got to get somebody to get him the ball. But yeah, like I said, I'm not doing Rand Outdoor actually asked a question on a video he did yesterday. It posted yesterday. So I'm going to really try to answer the question and not be an idiot about it. But let me get back to Mass Effect. The combat in Mass Effect seems very fast. You're going to have the Frostbite engine looks beautiful. The build that you've been seeing, on Mass Effect, the one that everybody's seen online, has been the PlayStation Pro build. So if you get the Xbox version of the game and you get, you have EA access and things like that, I think you get 8 to 10 hours on EA access. It's not going to look like that. I mean, I'm not dissing the Xbox One. I'm disappointed as somebody who has an Xbox One The Xbox did not get the better build of this game. This game started on their system, started on the Xbox 360, and now they get the duty end of the game. But the PlayStation Pro version is what you're seeing, except for the CES was the NVIDIA. So you think that's all right? Hold on, you think the trade was good? Yeah. See, what do you think about the Kings owner talking about Buddy Hield is the next Steph Curry? That's a quote from him. I mean, Buddy Hield's a nice player. He was a good college player, but he's actually a great college player. But he's come on, Steph Curry. And then they're going to waive. The Kings are going to waive Matt Crazy Man Barnes. So now he has more time to go after Derek Fisher. Keep planning his revenge. But yeah, so again, Mass Effect Andromeda. If you okay, that's cool. Hey, well, give me a tweet or send me something on Twitter. And if you do a podcast later on, just hit me up because I'm off today. So I appreciate it. But yeah, I'll keep going. The Mass Effect, but I'm glad you're doing okay, bro. I'm glad you had a good time down there. You should have waited till next week. That's when Mardi Gras starts. All you can drink Hurricanes, $30 at BB King's Club. You missed that one by a few weeks. That's cool. They're bad, I know. He ain't got a job now. They're going to waive him, I think, tomorrow. I think Wednesday they waive him. So he's going to be going after Derek Fisher. So, but yeah, all right, let me get back to that little NBA joking right there, folks. Forgive me. So shout out to the five guys. Yeah, New Orleans can be dangerous. Yeah, they got some nice places, but a lot of places have not been rebuilt since Katrina hit. So that's not talked about though. That's a different podcast. So that's a different podcast. All right, but so let me get back to Mass Effect. Anyway, like I said, they released the combat video. What I noticed in that video was if you go back to the VGA Awards, VGA 16 Awards, when you saw that trailer where they show like 8 minutes of gameplay and they show Sarah Ryder's face when she had that confrontation in that little setting she was in, her face didn't look that good. It looked like she had Botox done. But her face now and her hair looked really good in that part where they were kind of talking to her. And she does look like somebody who was just now waking up. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that video. If you have a UHD TV, watch the video in 4K. Looks fantastic. Getting the PlayStation Pro version build is 1800p. It's going to upscale to 2160p. So that's Mass Effect. Hopefully we get some more reviews on that, or not reviews, more videos on that here in a few. Another week and a half. I mean, they should have a beta for the demo. But I know the EA Access, that is on the 16th, so you guys are within, you guys got what, less than 20 days, give or take. I'm looking at maybe 24 days. So congrats on that. If you're gonna get the game through EA Access, you're not gonna have a whole lot to do. You have 8 to 10 hours, and it actually times it out. You know, once you hit 10 hours, it's gonna time you out. So I don't even know if you're gonna be able to go to a planet. They haven't really said a whole lot. Shout out to the people that are watching that are popped in. So yeah, shout out to you again, Cycle Gamer, Guardian Legends, One Stop, Widowmaker, all you guys, King Grim Kampachi. Big shout out to all you guys. Big shout out here to the Gamer Couch podcast with PlayStation News Now, Fox at PlayStation News Now. Go hit up his channel. He's got some real good content. Dark Cloud, Blaze, Wolf Flow, Matt's Gaming, just huge podcast. Bullet Bill, big podcast on Sunday that we had. Great conversation. None of that over talking happened. Just good old fashioned gaming conversation. I appreciated it. All right, let me move to Horizon Zero Dawn reviews. Horizon Zero Dawn at this point, and it's early in the year, has received the highest score on Metacritic. I guess that's a big deal. It's got like an 88 or 89. So shout out to, you know, Resident Evil's I think it's Biohazard. That got like an 86, 87. Yakuza 0 got an 84, 85. So all these games are scoring well, I guess, in the community. But Horizon Zero Dawn, honestly, guys, is a masterpiece. If you like games, you will really enjoy this game. Nice story, great character, and people got to understand that Sony has officially, air quotes, officially retired Nathan Drake's character. He may make an appearance every once in a while in DLC, but there will be no more Uncharted games with Nathan Drake. This IP looks to take its place, and it is strong, and nobody can argue with it being strong. So, and it's going to sell a lot of copies. The game, and also there's Neo. Neo also is still sold out. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. There are 5 GameStops in Lexington, Kentucky. None have a physical copy of Neo. Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Well, you can buy it physically, and you're right. I can buy it physically. I just prefer, or buy it digitally. I'm sorry. I just prefer buy my game physically. Neo may have to take an L from me because after I get Horizon, I may have to even skip over. There's another game called Nier Automata. I'm not going to have time to play that because when I get done with Horizon, I'm going to go to Mass Effect. You know, and then after Mass Effect, I'm going to play Ghost Recon, and after Ghost Recon, I'm playing MLB The Show. So it is what it is, folks. That's I mean, we're crazy. I mean, it's a great time to be a gamer, but Sony has hit us with Yakuza 0, with Gravity Rush 2, with Nier Automata. We had a multi-plat release of For Honor, which I haven't tried yet. We're getting Horizon Zero Dawn in, you know, just a few more days. And then like a week after that, we're getting Nier Automata. And then 2 weeks after that, we're getting Mass Effect. I mean, but the fact that there are people online in the Xbox community that are just trying to tear the game down, saying that it's a Tomb Raider knockoff. Well, I can tell you this right now. I played Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I loved Rise of the Tomb Raider. It was one of my favorite games I played this gen, especially the 4K Pro build. But it doesn't have anything on this. This is its own separate game. Now, does she do a lot of the things that Lara Croft does? Yeah, and I think it's great that we have 2 female heroines now in gaming. They can both build strong IP off both of these female characters. And this is I said this on the gaming couch, this is a woman, a young lady of color. That's a big deal, period. Now, it's an RPG. It's being compared to The Witcher 3. And if you like RPGs, The Witcher 3 is honestly on console. It's considered arguably, and I'm saying arguably, so it's no disrespect to the Fallout guy, you know, to that guy. So because I like Fallout as well, but it's being compared to Witcher 3 level, and Witcher 3, nobody can say anything bad about Witcher 3. You may say, well, not my type of game, but I've heard good things about The Witcher 3, and there's the reason why. CD Projekt Red really needs to be worried about this game. I understand they retired Witcher and they're doing Sucker Punch, but they are going to have to possibly get another Witcher game out because this game looks strong. The absolute salt coming from some of the Xbox community is what the problem is in the gaming community. I guess, I don't know who said it. I've not heard Sony make an official announcement that this is going to be a Zelda killer. It's not going to be a Zelda killer. Zelda's been around since what, the early 90s. So to think a brand new IP from these guys is going to compete with that is nuts. But that's what the Xbox community is going to compare it to. They are literally online. You can find videos of them talking down on this game. I heard, and this is kind of going into what Thor was saying. The reason why the Xbox community is reacting the way it is because they don't have any games to play. They have multi-plat games, but there's just nothing else to do. Halo Wars 2 came out. I have not heard a peep out of the Xbox community about Halo Wars 2. All they're doing is talking about a console that does not exist. And this whole thing started when you go back to PSX, when Sony unveiled all those games at PSX. They really hurt the Xbox community, the fanboy, not the Xbox gamer. Okay, I know people that play on Xbox that don't act like fools. They don't say stupid ass stuff. So let's go to the very beginning on how this really all started. This is for Randall Thor. This is not a diss. I'm really trying to answer your question. 2013, September of 2013, there was an article in CNET, I believe, that they had talked to a couple devs about the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. The devs both said both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are virtually identical, except the Xbox One GPU isn't as strong as the PlayStation 4's. And if the developers push the GPU on the PlayStation 4, the games, the multi-plat games, a lot of them are going to run and look better on the PlayStation. That's a fact. That's all they said. And most people just kind of shrug their shoulders about it. All right, the systems come out. They both come out within a week or two of each other. The Xbox One is $100 more expensive. And now you got people, when they're looking into it, they're like, well, why is it $100 more? And so what Sony did was they answered the question. Microsoft could really never answer that question. So, and they still haven't answered why it was $100 more. But to answer the question, what Sony did marketing wise is they said our system is cheaper and it has more power. Again, nobody believed them because you had a couple guys talking about it. Digital Foundry actually started testing the games. The first game that really got hit was Call of Duty Ghost, I believe. Call of Duty Ghost looks like crap on the Xbox One. It was running like 720p. And then it was running 1080p on the PlayStation. It's like, all right, that's one title, not that big a deal. Then Titanfall came out for the Xbox. You had and Titanfall was running like 800p on the Xbox One, and it was running, it just wasn't running that good. It was okay, it didn't have a campaign, and people talked down about it, and it didn't sell as well as Microsoft thought. The reason why the Xbox community has gone off the rails when it comes to Sony getting the games, and they don't really have a whole lot to talk about, is because they've been reduced to talking about what the Scorpio is going to have in it. You have a game. I mean, if you go right now, and shout out to Matt's Gamer, love him to death. He has great videos, but he's talking about some kind of chip in the Scorpio. I mean, where are the games? It's just causing angst. Where are the games? And I actually heard somebody in the Xbox community when Horizon Zero Dawn got its release date and started being shown and things like that. They were showing some of the builds on it. This Xbox guy actually said we need that game to either be delayed or canceled or something because we don't have anything. That's a direct quote from the Xbox gamer, and that's the problem. So it's caused angst in that community, and that's all there is. I mean, and I'm not here to say where are the games. I understand I can go back and play games, but you got to understand, Randall Thor, their top games all started out on their original Xbox, I think. I think Forza, again, big shout out to Forza, a great racing game. Forza was started because they needed to compete with Gran Turismo. Well, Gran Turismo's coming back in May or June, and you think it's going to blow Forza away. They got more cars, they got more tracks. I know the mods probably won't be as much as they are on Forza, but I prefer, again, more cars and more tracks. Plus, on Gran Turismo, you can buy a Chevette and soup it up. I mean, a Chevette, for Christ's sakes. I mean, a raggedy-ass Chevette. Where's the Chevette in Forza? And there's nothing, and I like Forza. But Gran Turismo is the biggest selling Sony IP in the world. So, again, and Forza, it has been on the OG Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One. And it's there's nothing new about it. Looks better. Physics are a little bit better per gen, but there's just nothing there. So you go to another big series, Halo. Again, Halo was a system selling series, but it's not changed. You got Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, the best Halo game, Halo Reach, was shitted on by the Xbox community because it didn't have a good online. So let me start with the whole online thing. The Xbox community preferred play their games online. That's the problem. Let's go back. The original gaming systems, the Atari 2600. This is the first generation of games. Atari 2600, I had a list here. Atari 2600, ColecoVision, Intellivision, up to the original Nintendo, they don't have any online at all. The people that grew up playing on those systems don't give a rat's ass about playing online. And there's a lot of people that grew up on that system. 1 out of every 4 homes had that original Nintendo in the United States. That's a lot of damn people. Let's move into the next generation of things. When I look at the next generation as like Sega Genesis, and then Sega CD came out and Dreamcast came out, and then Nintendo came out with Nintendo 64, I believe. And I can't remember the whole chronological order, but there was a lot of people the community started to split right there. The first time online gaming got pretty much introduced to the world was through Diablo. There was a PC game called Diablo. Online gaming is a PC thing. It just is. That's where it was born. If you want great online play, you game on PC. And before you say, and I heard you say, well, you're not a PC gamer, you may want to look into that, because that's what the Scorpio is going to be. I don't know if y'all don't know this or not, but that's pretty much what it's going to be. It's almost a Steam machine, which is fine. That's fine. I don't care what it is. I just want them to deliver. But when you have a community that they've been reduced to for the last almost calendar year to talk about a device that's not in the stores, when I don't even look at it as a competitor, when Sony is putting out game after game after game after game. And you can look at, let's go to the fall of this year. Star Wars Battlefront is scheduled, I believe, to come out this year. Now, let's look at what's happened since the original Star Wars Battlefront came out. You've had a Star Wars movie come out. You've had 2 Star Wars movies come out to make over $1 billion. You've also had the death of Carrie Fisher. That's going to drive sales of this game. The Star Wars community that, oh, by the way, Sony has that marketing deal. You're going to be seeing the game on the PlayStation Pro. That game will release in the fall before the next Star Wars movie, and the Scorpio is going to go head-to-head with that. They're going to get crushed. You have a Mario game releasing, I believe, in the same time frame, and maybe a Pokemon game releasing on the Switch. It's just not. Again, I'm not here to say that the Scorpio won't deliver, but when you have a group of people that have been reduced to talking about the chipset and the Ryzen AMD chip and the Polaris can't do this, you're not talking about the games. And that's what everything is about. It's about the gaming. And they are constantly seeing Sony, like it or not, like I said, release Gravity Rush 2 and Yakuza 0 and now Horizon Zero Dawn. That is 3 exclusive title games in the first 60 days of the calendar year. It's a lot of games. Okay, that's a lot of games. So, and when you don't have anything, it puts them in a situation where they have to just say stupid ass stuff. And that's what did that guy say in Forrest Gump? Stupid is, or stupid does, or something like that. So I also saw you on your channel. I heard you say, well, you would like to play Horizon Zero Dawn and the Uncharted series, but you don't want to have, but you can't do it. It's like, okay, you can do what a lot of people do, Randall Thor. You can just get rid of your Xbox and go get a PlayStation 4. And when the Scorpio drops, and it's going to drop, in about 8 more months, just go ahead and get your Scorpio. That way you can play games like Horizon Zero Dawn and, and things like that. Now, you're right. I'm going to say the guy on your channel that was saying to for you to go ahead and do stuff like this. It's your money, it's your preference, but to make a statement like that is silly. You can go ahead and just get rid of your Xbox. That's what a lot of people did. They got rid of their Xbox, So, I mean, and Xbox is making a new console, so you just get the new console. That's what I'm going to do. That's what a lot of people that I know are going to do. So, it's you can do it too. It's okay. But you going to E3, I certainly hope you have a good time at E3. I will watch your coverage. And I appreciate what you're doing on your channel. I like your podcast. I like you when you come on Weapon Wheel and things like that, because you shoot the straight shit. But I've heard you on Weapon Wheel say things like that the Scorpio is going to be a good console, but it's not going to be a game changer. And you're right. You're right. I agree with that. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a game changer. I do think it will do some games 4K 60. Most of the games are going to use sparse rendering to get the 4K, and that's fine. I got no problem with that. But hopefully that answers your question. Why is the Xbox community losing its mind? Well, what else are they going to talk about? So they go in on things, trying to ruin the ending, trying to figure out what the ending of Horizon is so that they can post it and ruin the game for people because they don't have the game. And as far as exclusives being silly, they're not silly. Just imagine if Microsoft had a press conference today and said, okay, Halo is going to be on the PlayStation or something like that, or Forza is going to be on the PlayStation, or Gears of War is going to be on the PlayStation. So, I mean, the Xbox community would lose its goddamn mind. I did a video called The Xbox Community Has Lost Its Goddamn Mind, but that's why. So it's unfortunate that that's where they are. I have not heard anybody in the Xbox community besides you talk about Halo Wars 2. Think about that. You are the only person that has really talked about it. I haven't heard anybody else say a word. You ask them, are you getting Halo Wars 2? No, I'm not. And from what I understand, it's not that bad, but they got an 80 on Metacritic or 81, which means I'll just get it when it's, I'm going to do the GameStop flop, and everybody does it. You go to GameStop, the game's used, you buy the game, you play it for 3 days, it's dog shit, you take it back. But, yeah, like I said, this is not a takedown video of Randall Thor. I like him. I like his channel. I like what he's doing. But you answered your own question in your video when you said, hey, look, they don't have any games on the Xbox, and they don't. They do not. If you go to GameStop and you ask them what games are out on the Xbox, they will say Gears of War, which came out in 2016, Forza, which came out in 2016, Halo, which I think came out in, I don't know if that was 2015 or 16, I can't remember. And what have they had this year? Halo Wars 2. They don't have a release date for Sea of Thieves. They don't have a release date for Crackdown, at least not to my knowledge. And if they do, that's fine. I'll stand corrected. Or somebody in the chat can say, hey, Halo Wars is coming out on this day. And look, if you want to be me as a black man, I don't want to be a black pirate on the good ship Lollipop. But I understand that community is catered more towards online gaming. Just try to understand that the PlayStation community, those gamers tend to trend to be a little bit older. And we started playing games before online on consoles started. And if I'm going to play online, I'd rather play on a PC where you can play games like Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous and things like that and not have to pay for, access to them. Well, but like I said, that was me trying to explain it. I think Microsoft will have a good E3. I think Sony, they're going to unveil Final Fantasy VII. I think that remake, you're going to see some gameplay. That's my prediction. I think you'll get a release date for either Days Gone or God of War. But if they hit everybody with Final Fantasy VII, then a possible release date of God of War, I think I would consider them having a pretty good E3. But that is it for this video, guys. Like I said, Horizon Zero Dawn looks to be the second blockbuster this year for Sony. Yakuza is doing well overseas and in Asia. I don't know how the U.S. sales are. We won't know until next month's NPD, which I can tell you right now, I've seen some of the raw NPD numbers, and NPD is a little off because February only has 28 days. But the raw data is already showing Sony has won February. That's raw data. That's not the processed data yet. So, and they've won it by a big landslide. So, and understand Sony's NPD numbers, folks. They don't count the VR. They do not count VR at all. And Sony's VR is the biggest selling VR in the world. So it's selling more than Oculus. It's sold more than the Vive and the Samsung when all combined. It outsold them. But again, the Xbox community's problem is that they have no games to talk about, so they've been forced to talk about chipsets and what the Scorpio might be, trying to say it's going to be more powerful. Therefore, the Sony community is trying to downplay the power. Well, I've just told you the history of that. Sony talked about power in conjunction with the price of their console, not with the games. Digital Foundry, I think it's amazing, and maybe you find this funny, and this is the people who are listening who will listen to this video. Don't you think it's funny that the Xbox community shits and pisses all over Digital Foundry for just doing their job, doing comparisons, whether it's computers or parts of computers, graphic cards, things like that, sound cards. They don't say a word when they do that, but boy, oh boy, as soon as they show you the difference in Resident Evil on the PlayStation versus the Xbox One, the Xbox, oh, how could you do this? And this is not right. And Digital Foundry is called Pony Foundry, and they don't care. Digital Foundry is a constant reminder that you guys are supporting. It's your money, support who you want, but you support an inferior console. Now, the Xbox gamer I heard say that, or it wasn't inferior, I'm sorry. This Xbox gamer named Crap Gamer said, if you chose to support the Xbox One this generation, you bought the weaker of the two consoles. That doesn't mean you don't have fun playing on it. I mean, I have fun on mine, but I just watch movies. Like I said, we bought the Star Trek, all 3 Star Trek movies because they're all in 4K. Now, with that said, the sound is like shit, because they only have like a 2.1 channel on that thing, and you might be able to get the 5.1, but you got to buy some kind of crazy ass headset adapter and on and on and on. And it's just, come on, Microsoft. Sony is kicking your butt. I mean, I thought it was funny, and I'm going to end this with some movie news. Last week, Lawrence Fishburne, who's in the DCEU, he was in the Batman versus Superman, and I think he's in Man of Steel as well. He said that Marvel is kicking DC's butt right now. And he's right. If you guys would just say, hey, look, Sony's kicking Microsoft's butt right now, but I'm still going to go out and enjoy my games, I think that'd be a much better conversational piece than trying to defend and deflect and trying to, like I said, I mean, there's people that are so salty about Horizon Zero Dawn. Instead of just saying, hey, looks like it's going to be a great game, I may pick up a PlayStation for it, they can't do it. It's like, oh, it's got to be pushed back. It's got to be delayed. It's got to be canceled. This is Sony. They're not going to cancel their games like Phil Spencer does. Worry about Fable. Worry about Scalebound. Where are these games at? I mean, everybody was looking forward to these games. And yes, Fable and Scalebound would have helped sell more systems. And when Phil Spencer said it's good, it's a good thing, you tell me how less is more. Somebody can explain that to me. I'll give you $3.50. So, but like I said, guys, that's pretty much the end of this video. So wrapping up, Mass Effect Andromeda Combat looks very fast-paced. The graphics on it look sensational. Just beware if you're buying it for the Xbox One, the build that you are seeing online, whether you're looking at it on YouTube, regular YouTube, like on your computer, or if you're looking at it in UHD, you are looking at the PlayStation version of that game. PlayStation has the marketing rights to that game. So that's the version that you're seeing. You're going to get a version of it that's 900p. That's going to probably, and that's just, it is what it is. That's disappointing for me. I'm a big Mass Effect junkie. So that's disappointing. That's why I bought the Pro, and I'm getting it for the Pro. The Horizon Zero Dawn looks like a system seller. Looks like it's going to be everything they say it's going to be. It looks like a nice replacement for Nathan Drake. And I like it because it's a woman that a woman of color And now my daughter can say, hey, that kind of looks like me. And baby, it does kind of look like you. I don't want you out there fighting robotic dinosaurs, though. But and your answer, ran out, Thor, and this is not a diss on you or anything like that. I love it when you said support what you want to support, but don't sit up there and you answered your own question. When Microsoft doesn't have, the Microsoft community has been reduced to talking about chipsets and how much the Scorpio or whatever Scorpio may cost. That's where their community is now. And they're talking bad about the Horizon Zero Dawn. Well, it's not going to be as good as Zelda. I mean, this is, again, the Microsoft community that was shitting all over the Nintendo system is now hoping that Zelda, a Nintendo exclusive game, is just as good or sells better than a brand new IP. So an IP that's been around from the late 80s, early 90s is I think it would sell better. Hashtag common sense. But that's the end of this video, guys. Go ahead and like it. Psycho Gamer, I'm glad you're out there. Give me a hit this evening if you want to do a podcast. Shout out, like I said, JD33s, One Stop for Gamers. All you brothers out there, keep it going. Next Gen 720, all you guys out there. Weapon Wheel Podcast, my podcast, my guilty pleasure. Appreciate you guys. This is Craig Harris, the black man in the green chair, drinking pink lemonade this morning. Take it easy, guys. Peace.